dive into the Week 9 news, headlines, storylines, whatever you want to call it. Let's start with the injury report, as we always do with this segment here. I'll run through. There's a few that I think we've already touched on in the last episode, but we'll go through. There's quite a few key ones this week. Not as long of a list, but some more significant ones. Mm-hmm. Starting and headlined by Tennessee running back Derrick Henry with his foot injury. I have personally claimed it as a season ender. I know they're still holding out hope, but to me, it's a season-ending injury. Then we have Minnesota defensive end Danielle Hunter, shoulder injury, season-ending. That one is tough for Minnesota. That's a big one for Minnesota. Yeah. I think it's bigger than us losing Mac, but that's
neither here nor there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Minnesota. Seriously, that's sincerely. Sorry.
I actually like him as a player. He's specifically.
Solid, imagine him in Chicago. Oh my God.
Just wait. It might happen. Right. No, Dallas offensive tackle Tyron Smith goes down with an ankle injury. Dallas cornerback as well, Trayvon Diggs. This one's a big one. Ankle sprain.
Like every single week. They seem like they lose 5 players a week.
It's massive, but they lost Trayvon Diggs this week, which I think he was arguably the defensive player of the year so far. Yeah. New Orleans quarterback Jameis Winston, ACL tear, and they said undisclosed MCL damage. I don't know what the hell that means, but because the MCL is one
done.
Well, because I know the ACL tear is it's harder to recover from, but the MCL tear is like an MCL anything is the one that actually hurts more.
It's the one in the back of the knee, right?
I believe so. Yeah. So he's done for the year. Tampa Bay tight end Rob Gronkowski. I don't think he played due to back spasms. Did he play?
He played. He just before he got started, he had to come out.
Okay, because I turned on the game and I never saw him, and they were like,
he was out there.
Gronkowski out for. I was like, okay, wow. Jacksonville running back James Robinson bruised his heel in this game, so he's down for right now. Denver cornerback Bryce Callahan goes out with a knee injury this week. Chargers, Michael Davis is the name I was looking for. Hamstring injury, and as I stated earlier, Asante Samuel Jr. goes down with a concussion in this game. Another concussion happened with Carolina quarterback Sam Darnold. Chicago loses Eddie Jackson in this game due to a hamstring, and Damian Williams is the one who went out with a knee injury. Khalil Herbert. They both got hurt. Khalil Herbert just came back, and Damian Williams didn't. I think they actually ended up finishing out the game with Ryan Nall, which, God, I hated seeing that.
How did he do?
Horrible.
Okay.
Freaking Ryan Nall.
I just
Philadelphia wide receiver Jalen Reagor goes down with an ankle injury. The third concussion of the week came with Pittsburgh kicker Chris Boswell. I don't know if you saw that play. It's funny. Like, it's comical how it happened, but it's not funny that it did. Like, it was just like, of course a kicker gets a concussion type of thing. But he actually got lit up and actually kind of like blown out of the play. Like, it looked bad. And it turned out bad because he has a concussion now. And finally,
this is why kickers kick. And I'm petitioning for kickers now. This is why we kick the ball. We don't sit there and try to make tackles and all that. I understand they're supposed to routinely from time to time, but when they try to say they're not real football players, they are. They're kickers.
Yeah.
They're
unless you're Pat McAfee, I don't want to see any fakes out of you.
It's like chess, man. You have to protect certain pieces on the board,
especially when you only have one of them.
Thank you. It's almost, it ain't the king, but damn, it's damn near equivalent to what, like when
especially when they affect the game so much. When in close games like this one, like that could have been a devastating game. Like if that was against Baltimore, that would have been devastating for Pittsburgh.
And I'm gonna give a great example. Not saying this year, take the last 2 seasons. Let's just say Harrison Butker was never on the team for the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs don't win a Super Bowl.
No,
I'm just gonna leave it at that.
No, they don't.
That's all I'm getting at. The kicker is about as I'm gonna really say something.
Don't even go there. Don't even go.
It's true, but it'd be taken so well out of context. I won't say
I'm clipping this when you say it.
I know I'm not gonna say it because you're gonna clip it. See, you're gonna take it well out of context. So I'm not even gonna say it.
I'm only gonna post that one clip.
That's gonna be the headline. Kickers are. I'm not even gonna say it. You thought I was gonna say it. I ain't trying to bait me. Okay, listeners, if you didn't catch it, so sorry. Rewind it and keep trying to figure it out.
Finally, the last major one. Obviously, there's more than this, but the major injury. Oh, L.A. Rams rookie wide receiver Tutu Atwell goes down with a shoulder injury as well. So
he was actually playing in the game.
Yeah, he went down.
I've been waiting for him to call this dude's number. I'm like, man, what is he like on a 2-play package or something? Like, I never see him in the game ever.
I mean, I guess he's sitting there behind DeShawn Jackson. So
didn't DeShawn Jackson just get traded?
I don't know. I think he asked for a trade, but he didn't get moved.
Oh, I thought they moved him like a day or two ago.
No, not that I saw. I mean, if I might have just missed it.
I don't know. Just keep going. Don't quote me on it. I said I thought.
Yeah, well, before we get into trade deadline, and you can look that up, let's talk NFL headlines. One thing I wanted to talk about before we get into major moves and stuff like that, kind of just looking ahead to the 2022 draft, there are 3 teams, as it is currently standing with the NFL standings, there are 3 teams with multiple top 15 draft picks right now. It starts with Philadelphia. They have 3 first-round draft picks that are all top 15. They have their own at pick 9.
Okay.
They hold the number 2 pick right now from Miami. And they hold the number 8 pick as it currently... This one might not even be a first-round pick when it's all said and done, but from Indianapolis, from trading Carson Wentz. So they have 3 top 15 first-round picks right now, which is massive. New York Giants also hold 2. They have their own pick at 6, and then they have pick 11 from Chicago right now. And then the New York Jets have 2 as well. They have the number 7 overall pick. That is their own pick. And then they also have the number 10 pick from Seattle from the... what is his name? Jamal Adams trade. So that is currently right now 7 picks between 3 teams in the top 15. They hold half of the top 15 picks right now.
This is going into next year's draft.
This is going into 2022's draft.
That's gonna be interesting. I'm interested to see if they're gonna trade out of some of those picks, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah,
that's insane.
It's in like I saw that because they were looking ahead at the I just saw like ESPN put up an article just looking at the draft order right now, and I was going through. I was like, Philadelphia, what the heck? Like, just like it could keep popping up, and I'm like, okay, going back, and then I saw the Giants had 2. It was just like, this is like if this is how it ends up, which honestly definitely could be how this ends up. And honestly, Philadelphia might end up with the number 1 pick this year, depending on how Miami decides if they want to play going into the second half of the season. So yeah, it's just like, I think Philadelphia set up real nice. I would depending. We got granted, I haven't looked at the next draft class yet to see what the talent level is. I don't think it's going to be another 5 quarterback first round draft, so not entirely sure how it's going to shake out for them.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to see what the talent level is in certain positions to see how these teams could possibly improve their team going into next season. And this, like I said, this is just kind of far ahead thinking right now, because this is about the draft after the season. So
right,
yeah.
You want to know what happened to DeShawn Jackson?
What happened to him?
Was not traded. Not on the team either.
Did they release him?
Cut him after the trade deadline passed.
Wow. Okay. That's why I didn't see it.
That's what I'm saying. I couldn't even find him on a depth chart. Now I had to do a deep dive search just to figure out what happened to him. And yet he has been cut by the Rams.
Insane. Wow.
And that's coming after a Tutu Atwell
injury,
and he's on IR.
Insane right now.
Just want to throw that in there. You can keep moving. DeShawn Jackson is out there.
Oh wow, there was talks for the Browns and the Saints to get a deal done with OBJ, but it just did not happen. Man, that would have been huge.
It ain't gonna happen. Nope.
All right, moving on. Tennessee signs free agent running back Adrian Peterson. We did talk about this a little bit earlier. And that's going to try to help fill the void of Derrick Henry's foot injury. Like we said, he is, quote unquote, done for the season right now. So it's going to be him, and McNichols is going to be the other running back there. I mean, maybe. They don't have to be the best running back tandem in the league. They just need to be top 15 rushing, I would say, to make this team stay afloat. Would you say?
I would agree, but I think there's a bigger issue that we haven't talked about that needs to happen now that Derrick Henry has went down. Where the hell is Julio Jones?
I saw it.
That is where it is. You already knew where this was going. I'm like, what you said is fair. Is even expected. Do what y'all can. I mean, take Baltimore's model. I mean, man, if they talking about doing some Mex Man up carousel thing, hell, they're finding a way to get it done. The issue as to why it's working over in Baltimore, because it ain't just if this doesn't work, everything goes to hell. Same thing needs to be said in this situation here. So, what team we talking about again? Tennessee. Julio Jones. Julio Jones has to step up. I'm sorry. Granted, I don't care if I know we were speculating reasonings as to why Tennessee would take him versus why Atlanta would be giving him up, and that doesn't neither here nor there. The point is, where you're playing right now, there's an expectation. You have severely failed in this. Your expectation. You have not hit expectations. You have hit none of the markers. You checked none of the boxes, and I mean, the only thing we could sit there and almost start to get to be able to count on for Julio Jones is whether or not he's going to be ruled out for this week again. Enough. It's just he's been out 3 out of the last 4 weeks, 3 of the last 4.
Yeah, I don't even have a stat on that. I mean, if he played, it didn't matter.
It's bad. And he's been more out than in, and I mean, I don't want to say he's damaged.
Do I say it again this week?
You can say whatever you want freely.
That's just best ability is availability.
Exactly. And in light of King Henry going down, I'm sorry, this little court gesture called Julio Jones needs to step up and realize he's an NFL wide receiver and plays in the NFL, and they actually pay you to play this game. So, yeah, I do like the Adrian Peterson pickup. I just really don't want to see it get poo-pooed on by a Julio Jones, ghost performance.
So. I get you there. I mean, I don't have too much to add on to that. It's just, it's disappointing to see that who is supposed to be one of the generational talents at wide receiver is just not playing. Like, I'll leave it there. Another big, I mean, if we're talking about guys that just got cut, Green Bay ended up releasing linebacker Jalen Smith. Just picked up after being cut from Dallas a few weeks back. Now has been cut by Green Bay.
Curious. Are they saying why they're cutting this guy?
All I got was I didn't even get a notification about this one. I was just scrolling through ESPN at the time, and I saw the story come out. So yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
It's interesting. I just wonder if there's something going on with him.
I know he's a step slower from last year. I know that. I know he's not like making quick decisions as he was. Mm-hmm. But even with that, there's some middle linebackers in this league right now that I definitely would take Jalen Smith over. Quote unquote Danny Trevathan right now. I mean,
wow. Okay. Oh my gosh.
So he's gone, and he's available for people to come and grab now. I do see that he would be a guy that could help a contender even get further into contention. Mm-hmm. So we'll keep an eye out to see what happens to him there. Speaking of OBJ, like I said, there was almost a deal done, but it did not get done. But I guess this all kind of brings to light something that happened earlier today. OBJ's father came out, because Odell Beckham Sr. Came out and basically just straight up called out Baker Mayfield. He put up a video, I think on Twitter, I don't know exactly, but he put up a video of just all the times in the last like 2 or 3 weeks that Baker has just missed a wide open OBJ.
Right.
And no context, like there was no writing on it or anything like that. It was literally just a video.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, okay, is this obviously we know Odell Beckham is a guy who wants to get his touches. He, granted, has been way more mature in Cleveland than he was in New York about it. And he hasn't said a word about it. He said, I just got to come out here and I got to play. I got to try harder. He's putting all the onus on himself. Right. From coming from his mouth, from his press conferences, he really has not called out anybody. But clearly, behind closed doors, he's talking to people, and we've been saying this. He's definitely upset. It's just, but I have a lot more respect for him now, being that how mature he is handling the situation right now. But still, now this is a major question going throughout the rest of the season. Now that he is locked in to play with Cleveland now for the full season, or get cut, which I don't see them doing because that's a lot of money just flushing straight down the drain there.
Yeah. I don't even have a short list. I have a list, man. This guy, it amazes me they didn't move him.
That was one of the biggest ones. Him and Marlon Mack not getting moved are two where I'm just like, what the hell are we doing?
Marlon Mack didn't even get. I don't even think he played in the last game, which would have been indication in some cases to look at that is okay. He's definitely getting moved.
Yeah.
So that's not why we were playing him. But yes, I agree with you 100%. These probably the big two misses of the trade deadline.
Chicago, what the hell? You couldn't give up a 6th-round pick to go get Marlon Mack?
Considering Damian Williams just got hurt and I didn't even know he was hurt.
Yeah.
This is baffling. And for what you was going to say is what I would have said with the Chiefs for OBJ. I'm like, I know they don't have offensive issues per se.
Yeah.
However, I'm like,
no, here's one thing I did hear, which was one that kind of scared me as a Bears fan, but it makes a lot of sense being that the Bears are in the NFC, Kansas City's in the AFC. Allen Robinson is on the last year that he's on the franchise tag this year.
Right.
They could have traded him over to Kansas City, and that would kind of mask a ton of stuff over there because you can't guard three. And I think we actually had this thought earlier in the year with Allen Robinson going over there because he's not a guy who's going to, I think, be real too upset being the number 2 behind Tyreek Hill. And I don't think he has that temperament. I think he could just come out and play.
Yeah. And you know what I'm saying? And he's getting just a consistent array of targets.
8 targets a game.
Which any wide receiver one would take, if not more. You know, that's what I'm trying to say. It's you're a feast. You're gonna feast in this offense. Yeah. You know, and even if it's the Tyreek or the Tyreek Hill or the Travis Kelce, game or whatever, there's still the trickle down effect. Oh my God, what's left over is still there's so much to go around.
Yeah.
Reason why we keep talking about guys like a Brian Pringle. Most people don't know who that dude is, but
he had a good game last night.
And that's what I'm getting at, man. Like, okay, if Brian Pringle can do that, what the hell would an OBJ or Allen Robinson do? I mean, granted, I know they're like, well, you brought Josh, what was it? Josh Gordon over there. Josh Gordon played 6 games in 12 years. So, it's just ridiculous.
I think he only had 1 target last night, and that was the one that went straight through his hands to go off the face mask of Jerick McKinnon to get intercepted by Julian Love. I don't know his name. Love.
and it's like, okay, 1 target, but how many plays did you?
I know.
Like, I don't even remember how many times I even seen him out there. Like, I don't even recall ever seeing him. It's just
that's the only play I saw him.
I don't even look for this guy anymore.
I didn't even realize it was him until I saw the replay.
See? Yeah, exactly. But oh my God, yeah, this was not the greatest trade deadline because it just. I think the speculation was more exciting than the actual deadline.
I feel like that's how it always is, though. It's just like we're looking at the possibilities, but then these teams don't go out there and make those moves. And it's disappointing because these could actually make these these teams real contenders and really make especially with the seven team playoff, it makes the whole wild card race, the whole second half of the year, a lot more interesting, knowing that there are teams with a lot more talent that could definitely make a push to make it to that last spot. It makes those last couple of weeks so much more interesting, whereas you're playing a Miami Dolphins team who's clearly out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now that Miami game, maybe they're six wins at this point now. I don't think that's ever going to happen, but it's just saying, like, those are the types of moves that you would see being made, and now those teams are coming along, and it becomes a little bit more interesting down the stretch. So, especially with guys that you're not going to utilize for the rest of the season, and you're not going to re-sign for the year following. You're just going to lose them for nothing. Right. So, I guess there's not much more really there, but I think it was interesting to see Odell Beckham's father come out and say what he did, or not say, but just clearly put out a notion of, hey, Baker, what the hell?
Yeah. You get a Malik Harrison report by any chance?
Malik Harrison?
Yes.
No, I don't even.
Linebacker for the Ravens.
Did he get traded?
No, he is injured. Did you know the nature of his injury?
No.
Shot in the leg. Yeah, I thought that was worth talking about. Like, okay, we are.
Well, we're at a weird time because we also have another story.
Just what I wanted you to. This is why I brought that out.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, the Vegas Raiders wide receiver Henry Ruggs. We were actually just joking about him last week on the episode.
Oh God.
Not because of what just happened, but because of fantasy stuff. It's completely different situation.
Crystal ball, we can see the future. So, yes.
But I guess early this morning, because the funny thing is, this story didn't come out until literally about like maybe an hour and a half ago.
Yeah.
Like this is what kind of scares me about it, because
they were really sitting on this.
Yeah, this
happened last night.
Yeah. So
breaking news, like it just happened.
No, this happened overnight. Henry Ruggs is now facing a DUI charge with the possibility of vehicular manslaughter right now, based off of an accident that he was involved in last night in Vegas, where unfortunately somebody else died, and now there is I think a sheriff came out and said and put out a statement that he did look definitely impaired by something. They don't know what, but he definitely had something in his system at the time. NFL might need to really, really look at some stuff, because one thought that I did have as this was going on, or as I read the story, was, what if this isn't under the influence of alcohol or any other class A drugs, if you will?
Mm-hmm.
What if this was, because he's been on the injury report a couple of times in the last couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Could this be like a cortisone shot coming out of practice or something like that?
I don't know.
I mean, I know it was just as late at night, so definitely a low possibility of something like that. But I feel like the NFL needs to hold its breath until they get a toxicology report.
That's true, and I mean they're already under investigation, and they only look. It took them 12 to 16 hours just to give us the accident.
Yeah.
So I think they're just gonna keep giving us the story in bits and pieces till they're really ready to come out and make a statement. Because man, the PR fallout from this is not good. Yeah. If this goes down, I mean, this guy, like you said, he gets his DUI. It's already a DUI, so okay. First thing in anybody's mind is like, hey, he's drunk.
Yeah.
Now he's in Vegas, and do we expect this going forward from the Vegas?
I didn't even attach that yet. Like that. That's a whole nother ordeal. You're right.
Which I'm saying, it's a fallout.
Yeah.
And when you start trying to make sense of everything and try to causations and all that, it's just, oh my God. I think the NFL is doing what they've been trying to do and hold serve and try to, before we say anything, let us put all our ducks in a row before we make any statement about anything. So.
Yeah.
But for us, it does nothing but have us sitting here waiting and speculating on what's going on. And I don't know. Is this the end for Henry Ruggs? I mean, I mean, is it too early to say? I mean, just what can we begin to possibly speculate can come from this?
To me, I'm not expecting to see Henry Ruggs in any form or fashion until after Thanksgiving. That's just kind of the way I'm looking at it. I feel like this is going to be something to monitor for the next couple of weeks. I feel like we're going to get another report probably on or around Thanksgiving about his situation and how things. I mean, obviously, we're going to get another one soon, kind of giving us a full breakdown of what happened that night, and possibly a statement from Ruggs himself.
Right.
But yeah, this is it. First of all, it's tragic to just this to happen to anybody, not just Ruggs, but the person who passed in this whole situation as well. So, man, it's just a situation I think it's tough. You, like you said, you don't know. We don't have the information, and we're not going to have the information until somebody decides they want to give it to us.
Exactly.
So, there's just going to be a lot of speculation for, I think, the next couple of days. And I think the NFL is just like, God, can we please get to Thursday? Because I don't think they want people talking about any of this right now.
They need a distraction.
Yeah.
And they don't have one at all.
No, I mean, for the next 2 days, we're just going to be this is going to be one of those things that tomorrow, because I mean, right now, all of these sports shows, not many of them are going to be talking about this right now.
Tomorrow, oh my God!
Tomorrow morning, where you get the biggest eyes on sports, this is going to be a topic of conversation all day tomorrow.
And the fact that we do not have a Deshaun Watson trade missed your window right there.
Yeah,
that would
have buried this thing away.
Yeah, you could have slid that right under the radar. No one would even bat an eyelash to this story unless there was something to really report from it. But I agree. Von Miller.
Yeah, let's talk about some deals that actually did happen. Von Miller, this happened yesterday. Linebacker Von Miller gets traded to the LA Rams for a 2022 second and third round pick. So pennies on the dollars. The I love the deal. I for the people saying like the Rams don't have any draft picks until 2026, like I don't care. They clearly don't use them. I mean, Tutu Atwell barely has played this year, and he was a second round pick.
If they gave me the choice to take their defense as is right now,
with Von Miller,
with Von Miller, or you can just keep whatever draft picks your team respectively have for the next several years. Just saying, I'm taking this defense.
Jalen Ramsey, Von Miller, Aaron Donald, Leonard Floyd.
Because what is the draft for anyway? It's to try to create what they just have. And then you add a Von Miller. It was a trick question. You obviously will give up all of that to take this. I'm like, well, you won't have any draft picks going. Just play the game. You'll get a pick back here.
I'll trade Tutu Atwell for a third round pick next year.
Thank you. I would trade out of whatever's on my damn stack team, and I'll get it back.
I'll give you an expiring contract for a fourth round pick.
You want these kind of problems. These are championship problems. Because the point being is you can't avoid problems.
Yeah.
The question is, what kind do you want?
Yeah.
I don't want the whole, we have 7 picks in the next year's draft, and we're going to be just as crappy this year as we was last.
Minnesota.
Jets.
Yeah, fair.
Jackson.
No,
Detroit.
I love the move. I think we finally get Von Miller out of purgatory from when he was in, since the 2016 Super Bowl 50.
Yeah, it's 2 titles, but purgatory. I get it. It's just like, for a career, I'll take his career.
I mean, for the last 5 years, though, he's just not been doing. I mean, and he's getting older. That's the other thing. It's like he is an older linebacker. Not saying that he's a step lower from what he was, but he's still just up there with a lot of these other linebackers. So I would love to see how he's able to actually play on a contender where there's going to be a lot more distractions for Aaron Donald now. Like these two together, I think are going to be what we were hoping Akeem Hicks and Khalil Mack were going to be with Robert Quinn as well. I think this is going to be the better version of that.
Absolutely, and please do not take for granted He's on the West Coast now. December football.
Yeah,
like
that's
the
true.
springtime. I'm like,
Yeah.
you serious? I'm like, yeah, you might have to. Okay, what was gonna be 5-6 straight cold weather games? Maybe one or two. Maybe one or two now. I'm like, man, it's a win. Oh my god, this is a win for the Rams. Is it a loss for the Broncos? Not necessarily. I mean, I think it's, if nothing else, this is the beginning of a rebuild of some sort or a retooling of the team.
They're in a rebuild to me anyway.
I know you keep saying that.
To me, though, no. This is what I've.
Until it's declared, cannot say that this.
Okay. But I will say when I did see this, I did have the thought: is Vic Fangio on the hot seat right now?
I don't think he is, but I think he will be soon.
Well, because I mean, you don't usually go into a rebuild until you get rid of your head coach, you get a new GM. I mean, they're already in the discussions of like changing ownership groups. So like, it's just a weird situation.
Maybe the writing's on the wall, and they just like, look, we'll give the coach as much rope because it ain't got nothing to do with him. But eventually we change.
But they're gonna because eventually they're gonna change it once they retail some other stuff, and they're gonna clean house at some point.
I think it's more. It's not based on anything that he's doing or not doing. I think it's just.
I'm not saying it's against him. I'm just saying that it's just one of those. I think he might be. Like,
I agree with
his time might be up.
I agree with you. I just want to clarify the reasoning, not the status quo reasoning. But with that, I guess then that doesn't necessarily put him on a. I guess it does. Doesn't a hot seat mean that we about to fire you?
No, I guess I would say this offseason I would be hard pressed to believe that they're not going to move on from him if this is the route they're going to take. If this is just a one off, this is confusing to me for Denver. If this is just a one off trade,
I don't know. Yeah, and because unless we don't know what Von Miller's been talking about. Maybe he's who knows now. He's acting an ass in practice.
Well, based off of the video that was just put out about him getting in the car to go to the airport yesterday, it sounds like he was caught off guard from the trade, where he was just saying like he was in practice and then he got sat down and they told him where he's going, and he just was like, well, now, like, for like an hour and a half after they announced the trade, it came out that he was still in the building saying his goodbyes to his teammates.
Wow. And Denver is going to pay $9 million of his $9.7 million contract this year. They're paying this man $9 million to leave. Are you?
I would say to Denver that is like that's class act to know that your team is not in contention, to trade him to a contender for one, but a contender that also has no money, no picks. Like, you're taking him for pennies on the dollar, and you're paying them to take him. Like, I would say that's a class act by Denver.
I don't know. I think this might be the beginning of the end. I think this is step one. I'm just gonna leave it at that because standalone, they want to just we just really want to get you somewhere, successful, and I think that can happen. But at $9 million, I've never heard of it. Maybe they do things different in Colorado. I don't know.
It's
the altitude,
those marijuana laws.
I think
we're really talking about Mile High right now.
And then they send him to another legal state.
Yeah.
Man, Von Miller, you crushed this dude.
Everything is looking up for him.
Goodness, all you have to do is just get on the plane.
Yeah.
Really.
He did land in LA today, so he is there. He did make it to the facility. He's probably had his walkthrough already.
Shed off all of those layers of clothes he had on. I think he's gotten over it very quickly already. Just closed on his house,
Hey, he is over there. I went to bed 4-4. I woke up 6-2. No, 7-1.
Contending Super Bowl talk now. Again.
Yeah, again. All right. Also, Pittsburgh outside linebacker Melvin Ingram gets traded to the one and only Kansas City Chiefs for a 2022 6th-round pick. How do you feel about this trade?
Like I was saying earlier, I felt this should have happened weeks ago.
Yeah.
For one.
Well, you did ask for a trade weeks ago, so.
And it's just getting done. It just, you seen what happened with Kansas City last several weeks. They needed this guy and a couple more people. That defense is just.
I will say we've already passed the week 8 recap episode. I did forget to say this about Kansas City. Sorensen needs to go. Sorensen is trash.
Did you? I know you've seen it.
I don't mean to get you re-riled up,
Oh
but
my!
he's horrible.
The worst secondary in the freaking NFL. I mean, the man can't stop.
He can't tackle. He can't play coverage. What does he do?
Why? Okay.
Because I thought it was him getting burned, like down deep, multiple times. But now he got beat in the short game this week. That touchdown to, I think it was Evan Ingram, was it?
Mm-hmm.
That was the one he got beat on. What are you playing? You're supposed to be playing the flat, and you're playing the hook curl.
I don't know. I don't know what the scheme. This defensive coordinator. Oh well, he's gonna be gone. I'm sorry. He's.
Is it the coordinator or is it just Sorensen?
I think it's both. But Sorensen and
Sorensen, he needs to be gone.
He has to go and execute it. He can't. I seen it yesterday. Oh my God. What's the touchdown play? I think it was him that got burned on the. I was just like, what in the world is? Why is he in the damn game? Because when I seen who it was, I'm like, wait a minute. I know that's not who I think that is. And then he went to the sideline, and it
wasn't a touchdown. It was just a big play. It was just a big play. It was the Kadarius Toney.
Yes,
down the sideline. He caught it, and he just like, where was Sorensen on this play? Like, it was one of those again where you see the meme of Tyrann Mathieu turning around, looking back, like, Sorensen, what the hell are you doing?
Like he's over here in the left, and then here comes Sorensen.
It's like whenever
so late on the play.
To me, whenever I look at Sorensen playing, and I know this is supposed to be about Melvin Ingram, but I just had to say this. Whenever I see Sorensen playing, I feel like everybody's playing cover 2 and he's playing cover 3. And then when they go into man, he drops back into zone. And then when they decide they want to blitz, safety blitz, he decides he wants to play 3-man deep. Like, it just seems like he's playing a completely different defense every time, and I don't know how you can have that level of miscommunication.
Own little world there. Own little world.
Is the defensive coordinator scheme that difficult to understand? Because it feels like everybody else gets it.
I don't think it is. For what you just about to say, I'm like, I don't see anybody else having these struggles. But I mean,
every week there is a play where Sorensen is
these struggles.
Yeah.
This guy, he has to go. I mean, there's trade deadline just came. It just went. Why is a DeShawn Jackson gets cut, but this guy stays and keeps the job?
What I think this might do, though, is it moves. Hopefully, it moves. Not really, but Melvin Ingram could play the outside linebacker position, and hopefully they can move Tyrann Mathieu back to safety with this. I mean, I know they still don't have another corner, but still, like...
Isn't Matthew playing safety right now?
No, he's playing corner. That's the issue. He might be relisted, but he's been playing corner.
I thought Snead was playing corner. I guess not. It's fine. I know they move in and out of positions and stuff, but yeah, Sorensen is not even a starter. Yet...
He's always there on the play where they get burned.
It's almost like defense, like these offensive coordinators are waiting for him.
The second he checks in,
they just get one player or somebody on the coaching staff.
You got beat by Daniel
to monitor
Jones.
This guy and then tell us when he goes in the game.
Like, he's getting I thought it was like, okay, you got burned by Jarvis Landry week 1. You got burned by AJ Brown a couple of weeks ago. Mm-hmm. Like, you got beat by guys that are actually respectable in the league. Fine, Sorensen, whatever. You still need to play freaking better, but once you get some lesser competition, you got burned by Kadarius Toney this week. You got burned by Daniel Jones this week. You got burned by what is his even? I can't remember the dude's name. The one who got injured on the kicker on the punt return.
No, for the Giants.
Yeah, I can't remember. It doesn't matter.
Tony Slayton.
Shepard went down too.
He went down again.
Yeah, he got injured in this game.
He just came off injury to go right back on. Okay. Reasons why I stay away from these people and fans.
He went down, but then there's another dude who also went down. It's just like you were getting beat by these no-name guys.
That's the point. That no names.
Yeah,
call these names.
Exactly. I'm sorry.
Know who these people are.
Especially with the Giants. I know you're completely out on them.
Gosh.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's a bad situation over there right now.
No, I watched the game, but I didn't pay attention to who was on the back. The names on the back of their jerseys. I could care less.
Yeah. Well, I think that's gonna do it. I mean, is there any other big moves?
Russell Wilson removed the pin out of his finger.
Yes, he did.
That's huge.
Not really. He's still not going to be back for another
That's
couple
huge
weeks.
because they on a bye, meaning he could be back as early as next week.
He is not coming back next week.
I said he can be back as early as next week. You don't know that. You do not know that, sir.
I will put it down now. He is not playing next week.
Well, it's a 50-50. He's gonna play or not gonna play. So,
yeah, I think that there's no other moves that were made. Pettis, that was the one. He goes down. The Chiefs also trade for a tight end. That's it. And that's going to do it for the news this week.